Hi, this is Gabriel de Varennes from the Gabriel de Varennes Real Estate Group at Real Page Performance Realty. Today I'm going to show you the virtual walkthrough of a stunning semi-detached in Westboro that I have currently listed. It is not on the market as of now, but we are still open to sell it considering the seller circumstances. So I'm going to go over a few things with you. So the address and the property is 362 Berkley Avenue. Okay. There's some longer description here that we'll go over. We'll go over the pictures together. There's a floor plan here that you could just simply click the link and download. And then there's a 3D kind of walkthrough, which I'll show you kind of briefly to give you a good idea of what the house looks like. So, but the first thing I want to do is look at the property on a map. So where is this property located? So we are located at 362 Berkley in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So we are in the awesome neighborhood of Westboro. I've been doing real estate for 7 years now, and I think this is probably the nicest newer built semi-detached infill project that I've seen or been into myself. And I'll explain that to you why I think that over the next little while. So the first and foremost, the micro location is probably, if you had to pick one location, this might be one of the best streets or areas that you want to live in for a variety of different reasons. First and foremost, you have all of the shopping and retail along Richmond Road. So we have Westboro Station here. I'm going to drop our virtual selves here so you get a good idea of what it looks like. So this is just down the street. We're on Berkley, so the property is just located down here. We have Clock Tower Brew Pub. We have a running room. There's a Starbucks right around the corner. There's a little pharmacy. There's a Bridgehead, a coffee shop. There's, I think, a gym nearby, a bank. Everything's really here, okay? The other thing that I want to show you from just a lifestyle standpoint is that we are blessed in Ottawa to be right off the Rideau River, okay? So this property is located right here. This is the outline of the building, and maybe I'll switch to satellite. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so we're here. So you're just a short little walk around Dominion Avenue, and then there's a pedestrian access here. This is a little actually bicycle storage station, which is really cool. And then you have the transitway that's right here. And then there's pedestrian crossing access, and you can make your way to basically the river, which is up here. And then here we have Westboro Beach, which is awesome place to kind of hang out. We have the Kitchissippi Lookout. And then there's obviously, in terms of getting around town, being access to the John McDonald Parkway is awesome. And then you'll have a bunch of walking and bicycle paths near the river. So if you like to jog, if you like to bike, if you like to just kind of get out, you're looking west. So I've actually walked this part of the property when it was actually a really, really beautiful day. And I honestly couldn't really believe that was in Ottawa. So I'll just drop ourselves here so you can kind of get a feel for it. But that's the river right here. So how awesome is that? And you're just a little walk away, and then you're kind of get access to all the recreational space there. And then it's still fairly private, right? Even though you have a transitway, there's a bunch of trees here. This is a quiet one, just no through traffic. So people who are coming down here only live here, or it's typically pedestrians and bicyclists that kind of come by. So I'll look at I'll drop ourselves on the where the property is. So that's across the street. So this is it. So this is a property in question that we have currently listed today. Okay, so you can see there's been a lot of new infill projects, mainly because of the property or the location is second to none, right? So it's prime real estate. So most of these properties have been developed. There's still a couple that still might at some point, but most of the properties have been built recently. This has been built by Falsetto Homes, and Falsetto Homes is, in my opinion, one of the nicest and better builders in the Westboro area, okay? And you'll kind of see why. So this property is very interesting. We're built basically at grade. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps to the landing that leads you to the front door, okay? And then you have a few more steps outside or inside the house that leads you to your main living space, which means that your basement here is actually at grade, and we'll see that in the pictures. Okay, the design is very interesting. There's nice elevations. There's a nice little trade-off in terms of building materials, in terms of stones, some nice detail work, a little bit of stucco, nice bright windows. The front of the house looks east, so you get a lot of morning light. And look at all these windows, you know, that's awesome. And then in the back, you're looking west. And then you also have a rooftop balcony, really good size, that you have beautiful west views. So we'll take a look at that shortly. Yeah, so here I am. The property, in terms of all the information, this is how I'm marketing properties now, is at 362berkley.com, which is a property address you can see here. So 362 Berkley, Berkley.com. If you just put that into Google, it will bring you to the property and all the information that we have. Okay. All right, so let's go through it. So the list price is $1.3 million. I will go over the comparable sales with you later on in the video if you guys want to go through or chat about them. The number of bedrooms, there's 3 bedrooms on the second floor. Okay, so your master retreat, 2 secondary bedrooms, laundry room, and a full bath. And then you also have a 4th bedroom in what I'm calling the basement, but it's actually at grade. So there's no living space below grade. Then 4 bathrooms, then there's obviously a 1-car attached garage, and you can get from the garage inside the house in a nice spacious mudroom. This is a detailed description. I've written in this in further detail. You know, these are my thoughts on the property and why somebody should buy it. It's beautiful living space. Okay, so I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Here are the pictures. So if you want some nice still photography, you know, to kind of really analyze the rooms. I mean, look at this kitchen. It speaks for itself. It's awesome. And then some more additional living space. So, and then we have the floor plan. So the cool thing about this platform is you can just click the link. It'll bring you to the floor plan. So it gives you all the measurements of each floor. We use these really cool kind of 3D cameras now that takes a bunch of data points around the property. So it basically measures the house with lasers. And that's what allows us to have the 3D walkthrough, which I will go through with you shortly. So that's really fun. So you can access that. You don't need to fill out a contact form or anything. This is the eye guide. So I'm going to start in the foyer. We'll go through the property together. I'll just highlight some of the features of the property. Okay, so, oh, am I still here? No. All right, we'll do it like this. So this is your front entrance, okay? So anybody, very easy to use. I would recommend to go through this on your computer if you can, other than your phone. You can still do it on your phone, but it's just a better experience on your computer. So you have a nice little front porch here. We will have a PPE station for anybody come to visit the property. So you will be given complimentary masks, gloves, and sanitizer. The owner will leave all the lights open, will leave a couple doors open, you know, to just kind of limit contact. I think it's the best way to keep people safe through this home buying process. Yeah, so you have a nice spacious entrance. You have these nice tiles here, nice trim. The staircases really match the banisters and the rest of the hardwood floors, which is the same. And really interesting sight lines. So you can see the back of the house, you can see the kitchen. You have all these huge windows here. And then if I go into the living room, you see all the big windows, you see transom windows above the kitchen. And then look at that, all of these huge windows. There's these really nice Hunter Douglas window coverings too. So if you want to kind of manage the sun or privacy or whatever, you can do that. You have a front balcony here with patio doors that lead you to your deck. I find front porches are very interesting living space. In my opinion, they actually help contribute a greater sense of community. I think, you know, you're sitting on your front porch, you're reading a book, having coffee, having a conversation. You see people walking by, biking by, familiar faces, dog walkers. You kind of, you know, interact a little bit. And that's what really all those random interactions is what makes a community interesting. Okay. So, yeah, we have this beautiful gas fireplace feature. It's got some really interesting design. You can kind of see the texture on the tiles here. Yeah, and then you have this gorgeous, I think it's walnut floors, but really nice, pristine hardwood floors. There's no scratches on any of them. The owner's done a really good job of putting like little felt cushions underneath all the furniture and stuff, so it looks brand new. Here we have a really good size. You can kind of get a perspective of how big the front entrance room is here, but you actually have a really, really good size. It's almost like a walk-in front entrance closet, which is awesome. I'll move here. We have a little powder room. Okay, so you have this nice herringbone tile, tiled walls, low profile toilet here, built-in kind of little pharmacy. Oh, I can get in there actually. That's cool. Yeah, that's a camera. Cool, eh? These little hexagon tiles. You know, nice sink, pot lights, see bathroom fan, and then this gives you a good idea of the staircase. So you got the open risers. You can see from both sides to the other. To the house. Okay, I'm gonna go here because you get the best vantage point. So here we have the nice thing about this floor plan. If you look at it on the left here, so we have a front living space, which is awesome, your dining room area, and then you have another, because the footprint of the property is actually really good size. You have another kind of secondary living space on the main floor. So if you're entertaining or all that stuff, it's a very interesting space. And then this is your kitchen. So you have your waterfall quartz countertops. You have a breakfast bar area here for a few stools. You got the hardwood floors that carries through. You have a door that leads you to a little outdoor living space with a balcony, with a little porch, and you have a barbecue. And then you have a little bit of outdoor living space in the backyard, because you have so much options of outdoor living space. If I was living here, I'd be on the third story rooftop patio all the time, but that's just me. And it's what I really enjoy about this kitchen is it's perfectly symmetrical, right? So you have, your fridge on the one side, you have an equal size pantry on the other, you have nice transom windows up top, you have your pendants here. I believe this is a stone backsplash as well, with the quartz countertops that carry through, and then the undermounted sink. So we'll see it from this side. Really nice high-end appliances. So really nice appliance package here. You have your microwaves built in here, dishwasher, right? This gives you a little idea of the outdoor living space. So your services are clear in terms of not having much more than just your coffee maker and maybe a couple things to cook. Okay, so yeah, this gives you an idea of really nice living space. So look at that amount of natural light. That's super awesome. This is east. This is west, and there's high-end window coverings everywhere that are staying with the house. So that's really awesome. Okay, so that's your main living space. I'm gonna go to the second floor now. Okay, so where are we? We are now in a master. So I'm gonna go back here. So you can see the staircase of nice vantage points. This leads to upstairs, so the third rooftop. The master bedroom here is at the back of the house. Okay. Yeah, this is, I believe, a queen size bed with 2 end tables, but definitely has room for a king. There's pot lights, so that's really convenient. Room for a dresser here if one wanted to. You got the double doors, so that's kind of fun. And then you have this beautiful ensuite. So you have tiled walls. You have a separate soaker tub with a quartz surround. Your glass enclosed shower. Nice big windows and blinds, for privacy and natural light. Dual vanities. You got your tiled wall, again, same thing, built-in kind of mirror with lights in between, and then your low profiles toilet, which is kind of cool, and then really good storage underneath. Okay, and then you have the 2 bedrooms here. So this second bedroom is freaking awesome. You have these high vaulted ceilings, big doors. Look at the natural light. Like, what an awesome room, right? The floor is in great shape. You have these low profile floor registers, nice elegant baseboards. Yeah, and then the third bedroom, which is 12 by 10, so just a normal bedroom, still a good size. The owner has it set up as an office, but definitely could be a third bedroom for sure. And then in here we have another 4-piece bathroom, right? So your kind of rectangular tiles, separate soaker tub. The finishes are really nice. The hardware is very interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is your secondary full bath. Okay, best part of the house, I think. Terrace. Okay, let's go. I'm really excited. So you go up a stairwell case, and then look at this deck. It's huge. It's a really, really good size. So you go outside. You have a covered portion, which is very interesting, with some pot lights, so lighting. And then here you have a gas line for barbecue. So that's super cool. You can maybe even set up like a hot tub if you wanted to, or in a little outdoor kitchen, or a little bar, or a little coffee station, whatever you want. And then this looks straight west. This is very private here. You have a good amount of space between you and your neighboring property with the other side of the semi, and then this privacy wall. And then you can see the river here. There's a couple properties here that are looking over the river, but if you actually see their living space is on the other side of this kind of stairwell. So it's fairly, I mean, you're on the roof, so people can look, but it's fairly private. You got this nice railing with, yeah, nice detail here. And then that's Westboro Station, where we looked at earlier with the Clock Tower pub and all that stuff. So you're maybe half a block away. Okay, so no excuses to not support your local businesses. Yeah, awesome. What more could you want? Okay. Lower floor. So now I'm just kind of running down to the basement. Okay, so I'm gonna go in the hallway here. So we have, sorry to make you dizzy there, but all right, here we go. This is the stairs to go downstairs. You have this really interesting kind of almost borderline mudroom, right? So you have a good amount of space here. You have 2 closets. You have some extra storage space here, and then this is your entry point from the garage. Okay, utility room here in terms of forced air furnace, natural gas, hot water tank, that kind of stuff. And then you have another secondary rec room. So look at these windows. That's awesome. This is your lower level living space, right? It doesn't feel like it at all. It gives you a good idea of what the backyard looks like, which is fully fenced in. You know, pot lights everywhere, nice tile that carries through. The choice of finishes is very consistent. So the flooring down here matches the hardwood upstairs, the staircase and banisters, same tile kind of carries through. You got the same style of doors and hardware, similar tile choice patterns, you know, very interesting. And then you got your 4th bedroom down here. So nice corner windows, it's kind of private and interesting, right? Couple closets. So yeah, that is 362 Berkley. So beautiful property. It, frankly, in my opinion, is the nicest semi I've ever seen. It's not conventional. Like you can tell they've put a significant amount of thought into this design. And my owner told me that it's one of the builder's favorite designs, and you can kind of see why, because it's interesting. It's not, sometimes you get lost with newer modern architecture, and at least for me as a real estate agent, you walk through the house, you know, the location of where everything will be before you get there. But because this has been, you know, because they were allowed to build a little higher, you have interesting front entrance, tons of windows and natural light, east-west exposure from front to back. Okay, I will go over the comparable sales. So this one's actually very interesting because I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. Whoop, I'll bring myself back. This is the other side of the semi. So it was listed a year ago, literally today, for 1.275. Similar, sold for 1.2075. So we are $90,000 higher. Okay, however, it's not the same property. So, you know, comparable in terms of finishes. They have a wall here where the staircase is. And this is, I mean, we're picking at straws. This is stunning. But I prefer personally the open concept, depending on what kind of lifestyle you're looking for. So you have a dividing wall here. You know, same fireplace in the front porch. And then you have a galley kitchen. So instead of ours, which is completely open, this is galley. So it allows for a bit more storage, but I like open floor plans personally. So, you know, you have a bit more storage here. But I think if you gave the option, if both were available for sale, I think the majority of the people would pick our product. So therefore, I think making it marginally more expensive. So, and then at the same time, the market's gone up about 20%. In the last, actually, I'm going to do this right now and just show you the quick stats, okay? In terms of the market breakdown, okay? So I put these stats together in terms of just basically, I exported all the data from MLS and I've been tracking it for the last, 3 months from the pandemic. This is the average sale price in Ottawa for the last 40 years, okay? This gives you an idea of the number of listings in the Ottawa Real Estate Board. So this is from one end to Ottawa to the other. So this is literally the definition of the supply, okay? So even if we were to look in January, pick a random month before COVID, in January 2015, there was 2,659 properties. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, that's way better. 2,659 properties. And then in 2020, there was about half. So the 1,389 properties. So this varies, you know, all across the city, right? Like there might be a little bit more pressure on supply in the urban core, maybe a few more options available in the suburbs or outlying areas, but that it's still 50% less supply, okay? You have 40-50% of the 40-45%, these numbers are, I think, from 2016. And we've had a liberal government since then, so I think they're actually greater. But this is where people work in Ottawa. You know, you have 40-45% of the population that works for the government and high tech, and I think are insulated from some of the economic impacts that are going on right now. Basically, long story short, is the number of listings was down, and it's been kind of fluctuating week by week compared to where it would be. So the black line is 2019 here, the red line is 2020. So you can see, you know, you can kind of take a wild guess and figure out on this chart where the state of emergency or stay-at-home order came in. Real estate agents did their jobs in Ottawa residents in terms of not putting properties for sale, you know, other than the people who really needed to. So our instructions was that it's not business as usual. So we're just servicing the immediate people who have immediate housing needs, okay? So basically, long story short, the number of new listings was down around 50-60% on average. And proportionally, the number of sales was down about the same. So until there's a significant amount of new listing inventory coming on the market, and the market is not absorbing that inventory, I think the prices will stay flat and probably actually increase because we actually have upcoming affordability crisis in Ottawa. So, yeah. So, and then also the prices, there's volatility, right? These are small sample sizes of 1 week at a time. So there's some volatility, but the prices have held up. I look at the normal, you know, there's the entry level, everyday normal people housing market under 800. And then there's another kind of marketplace for inner urban properties. And then there's a high end market. So every little subsegment of every industry is different. So I think that's why real estate agents are there, to provide interpretation and context based on their circumstances. The sold price to list price ratio, you know, used to be 102, 103% in terms of the final sell price compared to the original list price. So now we're at around 100. I would explain that not because, you know, the prices are going to go down 10-15%, but more so real estate agents, in my experience, are listing properties more in line with what they're worth. So I'm sticking my neck a little bit more out there now to say, okay, well, you know, the owner asked me, what do you recommend as a list price? And I'm like, okay, well, based on my research, based on everything, some of the information I've shared with you, I think there's one person who will pay 1.3. So that's our list price. So we're not underlisted, and it's the same thing, I think, generally speaking, with properties that are, you know, whether it's a townhouse in the outlying areas or a real property, they're priced more accordingly. And there's no pandemic discounting now for prices. Prices are not cheaper than what they were in February. In fact, they're actually significantly higher than what they were compared to a year ago. And I don't think that trajectory is going to change. I think when you're paying attention to real estate pricing info, pay attention if it's a national level or if they're talking largely about Toronto and Vancouver, because Ottawa is extremely different compared to most marketplaces. So yeah, 362berkley.com. All the pictures are here. My objective is to limit the amount of showings through the house out of convenience to the seller, but I'll also out of the interest of keeping everybody safe. And if you do want to book a showing, let me know. There's a contact form on the website here. So you can fill out your information if you have any questions about the property. We are not on MLS, okay? So that's the preference of the seller in terms of how he wanted to go through the process, at least at this very point. So feel free to give me a call. Hope everybody's staying safe, and talk to you soon.